I'll call a meeting to order. We've got two sets of minutes in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 27th meeting? So moved. And second, Gordon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. And then the December 17th called meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Got a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion approved. We've got a public hearing on a rezoning request from Rural District 2. Roger? Well, excuse me. Public hearing. So it is a public hearing. Any of those in the audience that want to speak to the issue after Roger introduces the request, the floor will be open. Roger?
This is a revised map for the rezoning property at 6250 Paul Boone Road, being tax map 126, part of parcels 79 and 14. The request came before you in November. The County Commission met on January 3rd and made a motion to send the request back to have corrections made to the map and wording on the resolution. This property is identified on tax map 126 and part of parcel 79 and 14. The rezoning would be for the southern 2/3 of parcel 79 and approximately 1 acre on parcel 14, which comes out to approximately 32 acres. The 1 acre parcel on 14 ties the parcel 79 to the existing R1 zone. The correction to the map is the deletion of parcel 7902 and part of parcel 80. I had inadvertently hatched the items, them on the previous map, and they were not requested to be rezoned. The new map reflects the removal of those two properties. There was a conflict in wording on the final resolution, which has been corrected and is reflected on the resolution that I included in the packet. And the property abuts this property along the western and southern borders is currently zoned R1. So this rezoning would be a continuation of the R1 zone based on site visit and slope analysis. The average slope of these 32 acres is less than 30%, which is normally defines the R2 zone. And the primary differences from R1 and R2 are the density and the minimum lot size requirements. And the minimum lot size requirements is the applicant's interest in the rezoning.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to this rezoning request? If there is no one, the public hearing is closed. Ready for action by the commission. Any questions? Any questions to what the corrections and changes were? If not, motion is in order. Okay. It's a motion with recommendation for rezoning, I assume. Okay. And we have a second. Any further comments? Not. All those in favor of sending the request for rezoning request onto the County Commission with our approval or recommendation for rezoning? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Major subdivision, Sequoia Hill subdivision off of Highway 411 South, 4 lots with 1 road frontage, 1 with road front and 3 served exclusively by a 25-foot common driveway easement.
I just want to remind you, the preliminary plat was approved in May of 2012 at the regular meeting. All of the improvements have been completed by the owners. They are here if you have any questions. Outstanding items to be completed are on page 3. Item number 1, a copy of a maintenance agreement to be recorded with the final plat. I think I actually have the maintenance agreement and looks okay. Number 2, a note shall be added to the final plat indicating that no other driveways shall be allowed along Highway 411 South. Item 3, signature plats and a $20 per lot platting fee.
Any questions or comments on the plat? Commissioner McClellan?
Mr. Comment, I don't see a standard utility and drainage easement note. Are they not requiring that on this one?
Yeah, we require them. We'll put it on here.
It's not on there.
This is actually not the final version. They sent me a new one today. It may be on there, but I'll make sure it's on there.
What was that was missing, Bruce?
Standard, sorry.
Oh, okay. Any other questions or comments? Do I have a motion? Motion to approve, Bruce. Second by Commissioner Roddy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
I have a miscellaneous item, number 1, middle of page 3, the Davis property off Boat Gunnell Road. There are 2 proposed lots, one with county road frontage and one served off of an easement. There is a variance request to the minimum lot size. If you will take note of the plat, it'll probably help to look at it while I talk so you can get an understanding of what's going on. There's a lot going on, a little piece of ground here. There's actually 5 residences on the property. If you look toward the back, you'll see a pond. I'll just take care of that right away. You'll see a little dashed line where the pond area is. They're actually adding that to the property. So it's what we used to do would be a lot line adjustment or an order of standardization, but we're just going to attach it and make what looks to be lot 2 a little bit bigger. Currently, all 5 structures are on one piece of property. And let's see if I can make sense of this to you. Let me see if I got my sizes right before I start talking. Okay. The purpose of dividing the property is to give one of the family members the front house that you see along Boat Gunnell Road. And the other 4 are to remain on the larger parcel. The variances come in because of our minimum lot sizes. This is out in the county, and it is on public water, so the minimum lot size on septic is 30,000 square feet. Lot 1, as proposed, is 12,632 square feet, so you can see how much difference there is there. Lot number 2 actually has a minimum lot size under the zoning regulations, and the zoning regulations require it to be 3.4 acres. I don't know that we need to grant a planning commission variance, but I think a blanket variance for lot size would probably cover that if you so grant it. I would like to also mention that any variances by the planning commission do not constitute variances by the Board of Zoning Appeals, and the proponents will have to take this plat to the Board of Zoning Appeals as well for the same, well, their variances under their regulations. A little more details. If you look in front of the first trailer, which looks like the second one on the driveway, right in front of it's a little hatched area. It's really kind of hard to see. The intent of that area we added was for Gary Ferguson to use as a reserve area for the house. Gary has looked at that. He has met with, I think he spoke with the owners, but I also think he met with or talked to the surveyor, and the surveyor placed that on there as per Mr. Ferguson's recommendation. The driveway, you'll notice, actually crosses the property line. The back parcel, number 2, is actually going to be served off of a 25-foot easement, but the road actually does not sit completely in there. That's a long-standing encroachment, and if the variance is granted, I have some other notes that are all listed here, and I guess I can go over them here in just a minute. By and large, though, Mr. Ferguson does not, he said he can make house 1 work. He can make it work, and it's already there. So I want the Planning Commission to know you have granted variances in this situation down to very small lots if the units are already there. I mean, they're not going to place anything new. Let me see where I got my notes. Okay. All right, a note for the driveway acknowledging the encroachment shall be added to the final plat. An encroachment note shall also be added to the plat for the 2 small sheds on lot number 2 that are actually on a property line. They are of long standing. The encroachment note is basically they can stay, but if they're ever torn down or anything, they have to be replaced beyond the setbacks on their own lot. Lot number 1 has a shed that extends across the right-of-way to be dedicated. Lot number 1 actually requires a 25-foot off-center of Boat Gunnel Road, which is not accurate on this drawing. This is not the final plat from the surveyor. He intends to go back out there and move that lot line back. When he does that, not only will that little tiny shed on lot 1 be in the front setback, but part of it, about a foot of it, will be in the public right-of-way. We have 2 choices there. We can either draw a little bit less right-of-way, or we can just put a note on there that the encroachment sits in the right-of-way. I think in this case, the second is better, the note, instead of doglegging the dedication. I believe that was my last note. We'd added the other note, which would be the septic easement note. So if you have any questions, I'll try to address them. Oh, and I will read the outstanding items to be completed. Number 1, consideration of the variance request by the Planning Commission. I will state the variance again as being just a blanket variance to minimum lot size for lots 1 and 2 of the Davis property. Item number 2, submission of a final plat with certifications, including Environmental Health Department approval and all notes listed above that I just mentioned, including the dedication of right-of-way along Boat Gunnel Road, which I just mentioned needs to be done. And note number 3, $20 per lot platting fee, and that'll come in later.
Questions, Commissioner McClellan?
And he may have it on, but he needs on his final plat to have a tie to the intersection. And always concerns me when you got a driveway encroachment on an adjacent owner and you don't have, I know you said it's long-standing driveway there, but concerns me what the Kilbys could do in the future if you just let that go.
We're just acknowledging in a note that it's a pre-existing condition, and that's basically it. I don't know how a judge would interpret it. I mean, that's not.
I know.
We can make a lot of guess. I mean, I guess you could technically make a move it onto their easement. But that would just further encumber everything that's going on up front.
Trailer, I understand.
Both of them, yeah. And it would probably eliminate the reserve area that Gary has.
But it seems likely to me that at some point they're gonna come back and try to separate these other houses into lots too, and
They may. Can I ask, I want to just divert just for a second. I've heard several times that from several surveyors that they don't have to do a tie anymore. Is that not the?
that's not true.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, that department won't know where it's located on.
Gotcha.
Do we have any other questions or comments? Do I have a motion? Motion to approve with the variances as detailed by Doug and the inclusion of the additional notes to the plat of the, making note of the driveway encroachment on the plat and the encroachment of the outbuilding that is in the, going to be in the front right-of-way.
And the additional note of the two that are on the other property line as well.
Yes. Okay, we have a motion to approve with variance. It will still be subject to BZA approval of density for the second lot. Do I have a second? We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. John is not here, is out sick, exhibiting flu symptoms. So I thank him for not being here and passing germs around the chambers. Discussion of ridgetop and hillside development standards. Doug, are you going to carry anything on this, or you want me to just?
It's up to you. I just wanted to mention John is going to be writing those for you. I've not been involved. He didn't give me any instructions. Roger might be able to answer a question. I know Gordon knows a lot more about it.
Gordon, do you have any comments on it?
Yeah, apparently, well, according to the commission rules, we can't reconsider this until next September unless there's some major changes. And after we got to looking at it, some of the commissioners, we did find some major changes that we think is going to have to be made to it. And I have taken a little surveys and fielded some of their concerns, which I think should be addressed. And having said that, if it's all right with the Planning Commission, I'd like to reconvene the Ridgetop and Mountaintop ad hoc committee to take another look at this and bring a recommendation back to the Planning Commission.
All right, Roger, if you would you include me in notification of any meetings you set up on that? If the commission approves.
I've not been an active participant in that ad hoc committee, but
Okay, was John driving that then?
yes, yes.
Okay. Marlene, would you let John know that, because I'd like to participate in that. Is that okay with everybody?
You need a formal.
I don't think we need a formal action on it. We're just going to reactivate the ad hoc. Next item on John's long-range planning was discussion of the 2013 education requirements.
Yes, you've got the list in front of
Yes.
you. There's several training opportunities. All the members of the Planning Commission require 4 hours per year of continuing education. You can kind of just filter through here and maybe look at it more later, but John was trying to get, for tonight's meeting, kind of consensus from the Planning Commission, if you will, to see if he can maybe narrow it down to some of these. But he told me at my last meeting, and I think, I know Friendsville and Louisville both selected the 4th item on the list, Designing Healthy Communities. It's a series of videos that he can do after the meeting. And I guess some members may have seen the first of those 4 videos. I don't know if you did, but he said if you have to just watch the last 3, that he can probably stretch that to 4 hours and certify it. Because I think each one's an hour and 25 or an hour and a half anyway.
Okay.
He just wanted to kind of get an idea if he should prepare for that.
I'd be interested in the alternative sewer systems hearing a presentation on those, and I think there was some other interest. Tom is shaking his head, Gordon as well, so I would give John feedback that the alternative sewer systems is
Sure.
probably a good one. Any other topics listed there that anybody is interested in?
Roads and transportation.
Tour or lecture, okay.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested in the ones that he can do here after the meetings, I think he'd be interested in knowing, so he can start preparing to do that as well, because there's probably gonna be some overlap. I don't know that everybody's gonna be able to take a day off and go on a tour.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest that the majority of our meetings have been 30 minutes or less in the last 6 months. That I'm all for, quote, an hour.
Yeah.
If you can stay, you can stay. If not, that's fine. You want me to
Yeah.
give him some, okay. And he may come back to you next month with some other ideas as well. I think he's trying to get ahead of the curve this year and start early.
Now, I don't know how many got to, I had a conflict when they did the landfill tour lecture, but I think that one would be a good one to.
Okay. He's also mentioned on here East Tennessee Development District and Plan ET. He's just going to let you know when those,
Sure.
and those meetings go on regardless if you guys go to them anyway.
That's not the one we just did, or is that just different ones? Plan East Tennessee, we just did all that involvement.
The-
That one we just went to, and really.
They're different meetings though, because it's a planning process and they're moving through phases of the planning process. So what they were doing before might have been more on the gathering information end, and the next meetings might be more on telling you what the communities over the region have done. I mean, what was said, more the results. I'm not sure when that progression is, but I'm saying if you went to one 5 weeks ago, the next one will be a different meeting. It won't be a repeat.
So those will be opportunities that'll be presented to us. I mean, they're going to go on whether we sign up, I mean,
John
whether
will
we
give you-
approve them
John will
tonight, but
certify
they'll
that
be
it's training
notifying
if
us.
you go.
And you'll be invited to those meetings, so you can go as you
They're good
have
meetings
time
too.
available.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, that gives him 4 options up above, plus the East Tennessee Development District. Also included in your packet is the dates for all of our meetings throughout the year. You might want to just tuck that away, but most of them will be at the standard time until we get to the holiday periods. John didn't have it on here, but you all received, each one of us received communication from the planning office and probably also from the state. You need to get your ethics, conflict of interest statement into the state. I did mine on the online, but you can also, if you have access online, you can pull down a PDF if you don't want to fill it out online.
Yeah, I think it's due on the last day of this month, and if you have trouble doing it, Marlene can assist you if you want to call us.
Anything else for the good of the order? Thank you much. We are adjourned.